Do you want to sound more British? Well, in today's class, I'm going to give you 3 tips, 3 changes that you can make in your speech to sound more British. This is a live class, so hello to everyone joining, and if anyone has any questions throughout the class, please let me know in the chat. So 3 changes we can make. The first we're going to look at is this R sound when it's deleted in British English. The second is a vowel sound that's typically heard in Southern England. And then an intonation pattern, so an up and down of pitch. That's what intonation is. We're going to look at a specific intonation pattern that will help you sound more British. After this, we're going to look at a dialogue and analyse it based on these 3 features. Before we get started, I'd like you to say this phrase here above me. Say it to yourself a few times. We're going to come back to this phrase at the end of the class, and hopefully you'll be able to say it in a more British way. Right, let's jump into the first topic. So I'm going to load up my course, and I'd like you to take a look at these words here on the screen. Now, they all contain the letter R, this R here, but do we pronounce them all as R? Read them out loud to yourself and work out, do we pronounce that letter R as a R sound in all of these words here? And in a second, I'm going to read them for you so you can listen to me say them. So we've got red, ran, green. Can you hear a R sound in these words? Very, carried, start, work, hair, more. Did all of those have a R sound, or did some of them not have a R sound? Well, hopefully you heard that these last 4 words didn't have that R sound. In start, work, hair, and more, native British English speakers delete that R sound. You'll hear it from most North Americans, but in Southern England, you probably won't hear it. So what's the rule here? If you are watching this as a replay, then you might want to pause the video here. Otherwise, I'll give you a few more seconds. Can you work out a rule about when we pronounce this letter R as a R sound and when we delete it? And it might help to look at what's after the letter R. If we take a look at what's after this letter R, there's a vowel sound. It's an E here. And similarly, here we've got an E vowel, green. Here we don't have a vowel sound after the letter R. And similarly here, it's a consonant sound. And then here there's nothing afterwards. And then here, this isn't a vowel sound, it's a vowel letter. So we don't say more-re or more-re. This is just more. So the rule is simply, is there a vowel sound after the letter R? If there is, we pronounce it as that R sound, and if not, we don't. Now, if we're going to not pronounce this R and follow British English, we need to work out what is it that we're doing when we're pronouncing this R sound so that we don't do it. And we've got some animations here. This is the Italian course I'm on right now, so that's why you're seeing Italian versus English. So in English, when we make that R sound in Southern England, you might have the tongue do something like this, so it's curling backwards in the mouth. Alternatively, you might find that the tongue does this. It goes up and back. So that's what's happening when we're saying things like red and green. The tongue is moving backwards in some way, and it's not touching the top of the mouth. Let's now take a look at some more words where we're not pronouncing that R. So in this first word here, there's no R sound. The tongue isn't moving back. This is actually just one vowel sound, and this is how I prefer to transcribe it as a monophthong here. This is air. These are the IPA symbols that I'm using. So this word is just air, and the tip of the tongue is just behind the lower front teeth. Air. If you move the tongue, air, if you move it backwards, then you'll create an R type sound, but that's not what happens in British English. So if you're aiming for British English, then we need to take away this R sound, and it helps to keep the tip of the tongue by the lower front teeth. This word here is ear, ear. And this word here, or. Now, if you pronounce these with the R sound, it can actually help you. It can help you hear and feel the difference between sounding more British or not. If we pronounce the R, you can feel the tongue move back. Air, air. And with no R sound, air, air. If we pronounce the R here, ear, ear. And if we take it away, ear, ear. Then if we pronounce it here, or. And if we take it away, or. So when you're aiming for the British pronunciation, keep the tip of the tongue here during the vowel sound. So this is one thing to help you sound more British, and it's not pronouncing that letter R as a R sound if there's no vowel sound afterwards. I'd now like to jump into the second tip for today, and that's the vowel sound in this word. So this word here has an O vowel, O. This vowel is a diphthong. What's a diphthong? It's a moving vowel. It starts in one place and moves into another place within a single syllable. Now, something that makes this particularly British is that it starts from that schwa position, or maybe slightly below it. So this is O, O. Some things to note here with this particular vowel is that the tongue is fairly central to start with. So here we've got a diagram. You can see the front of the tongue and the back of the tongue, and the tongue isn't arched forwards or backwards, it's just in the middle, and so it starts from a schwa-like position. O, O. And in modern British English, there isn't a lot of lip rounding here. O, O. You might get a bit of lip rounding towards the end, but we don't need a lot of lip rounding for this. So this O vowel appears in lots of words in English. We have it in the word both, both. So when you're saying this word, make sure you can hear that at the beginning of the diphthong. Both, both. Similarly, in the word over, over. And some words that you might not realise have this vowel sound would be this word here. So this word also has that O diphthong. This is only, only. So that's tip number 2. This O vowel starting from that central position, that position, O. Now let's take a look at the third tip for today, and that is an intonation pattern. This intonation pattern you're going to hear more often in Southern England. Let me find it compared to North America. Sorry, I just need to find the lesson here. And it's the full rise tone. What does this mean? Well, it means that with the pitch, we're starting high, we're going low, and then we're rising again. If we take a look at the word no, which has this O, goat vowel by the way, we're starting high, going down, and then going back up again. And it sounds like this. No, no, no. And on the word number, it sounds like this. Number, number. Notice that we're starting high and then the rise happens on the final syllable. Number. In the word police, we can see that this tone starts on the second syllable. Why is this? Well, that's because in police, the stressed syllable here is the second one. So that's where the tone starts. This is police, police. You'll hear this tone particularly in British English in yes-no questions. And let me find you some examples. For instance, in this question here, so this is a yes-no question, a question that requires a yes or no answer. And we've got the full rise tone on bring. Notice that the rise happens on the final unstressed syllable of the intonation phrase. Could you bring it? Could you bring it? Of course, I'm exaggerating the pitch range here, so you can hear it more easily. Could you bring it? If I say it in a more naturalistic way, could you bring it? Could you bring it? And in a more exaggerated way, could you bring it? So this full rise is more common, or is common in yes-no questions in Southern England. It's not the only tone that's used, but it is something that makes you sound more British because North Americans tend to use a rise here and say things like, could you bring it? Could you bring it? We do this too in Southern England, but we also have this full rise. So that's what makes it sound more British. Okay, we're going to now take a look at a text and see if we can find these three features we've been talking about today. So this no R and the goat, the O vowel, and the full rise tone, particularly on yes-no questions. Here we've got a dialogue between two speakers, Anna and Ben. And Anna starts with this exclamation here. She says, "Oh no." So here we've got two of these goat vowels, two of these O vowels. Oh no. So we need that vowel in both. Oh no. And then Anna continues, "You're not going to work today." Now, we've also got another goat vowel here. You're not going, go, going. And then we've got a couple of examples where we're not pronouncing that letter R, that R. We've got an example here in the word work. So in the word work, here this R is not pronounced because there's no vowel sound afterwards. If we're transcribing this, we could transcribe it like this, with a long schwa. That's what I prefer. Alternatively, you might see this in dictionary transcriptions. But but essentially there's no sound here in British English. It's just a long schwa. So this is work. Notice the tip of your tongue is here. Work. Oh no, you're not going to work today. Okay, and sorry, the other no R is here because we don't pronounce this letter E. This is not a vowel sound. So again here, this word doesn't have an R sound. So this one is pronounced your. Oh no, you're not going to work today. You're not going to work today. So try and say that a couple of times, focusing on the goat vowel, this O vowel, and the no R. If it's tricky to do both at the same time, then just focus on one. Oh no, you're not going to work today. Make sure that you're copying me so that you can hear your own voice doing the goat vowel and the no R. Oh no, you're not going to work today. And you can also put one hand behind your ear and the other hand here to listen to yourself more easily. Oh no, you're not going to work today. Okay, let's continue. Of course, we've got another goat, another O vowel here. No. And another one here. I don't think so. No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. And we've also got another goat vowel here. The car won't, the car won't start again. So the word don't and won't, these can be quite tricky for people who are learning English pronunciation. If you're finding it tricky, then start with just saying do, and then add the NT, do, don't, and woe plus NT, won't. No, I don't think so. The car won't start again. And then we've got an example of a no R here because there's no vowel sound afterwards. So this is car. The car won't start again. The car won't start again. When you're saying that word car, notice the tip of your tongue is down and it's not moving up or back during the vowel sound. The car won't start again. You've probably also noticed that I'm not pronouncing the R here again because there's no vowel sound afterwards. The car won't start again. And then Anna says, really? Didn't you just get it fixed? Really? Didn't you just get it fixed? Here I'm using that full rise tone. Fixed? Didn't you just get it fixed? Notice with this full rise tone that the vowel can actually be pretty long. I know that lots of people think of this vowel, like in the word fixed, as a short vowel. It's not a really good idea to think of this as a short vowel, but with the full rise tone it becomes pretty long. So didn't you just get it fixed? 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 Didn't you just get it fixed? And then Ben continues, I did, but it's hopeless, hopeless. Here we've got that O, goat vowel. I did, but it's hopeless. And I suppose I'll have to call the garage again. You would have noticed that I pronounced this word here as garage. Some people might transcribe it like this. I prefer this symbol. Garage is particularly British. You can also say garage. Garage like this. or garage, or change those to j sounds. There's a lot of variation in this word, but saying garage to me sounds particularly British. So Ben says, I did, but it's hopeless. I suppose I'll have to call the garage again. And then Anna says, do you want me to have a look? Do you want me to have a look? She's using a full rise tone here, or I'm using a full rise tone here. Do you want me to have a look? Do you want me to have a look? I know a bit about engines. I know a bit about engines. Here we've got that goat vowel. I know a bit about engines. And then Ben says, would you? Would you? And make sure you're saying this at home at the same time as me or just after me, so that you can hear these different features in your own voice. Would you? Would you? Would you? Here I'm starting high, going down, and then I'm rising on the final unstressed syllable of the intonational phrase. Would you? Would you? That'd be great. It's just outside. By the way, this here means that would. So it's that'd. You could transcribe it like this. I prefer this one here. That'd be great. That'd be great. Usually pronounced as a B, probably here. That to be, because of assimilation. But that's for another class. That'd be great. It's just outside. And then Anna says, did you leave the lights on overnight? Did you leave the lights on overnight? Here we've got that no R, over. There's no vowel sound afterwards, so we're not pronouncing it. And we've got a goat vowel, an O vowel here. I'm also doing a full rise tone. Did you leave the lights on overnight? Did you leave the lights on overnight? Did you leave the lights on overnight? Why is the full rise tone on night? Because that's where the primary stressed syllable is. Overnight. You can transcribe it like this. I prefer it like this. Overnight. Overnight. Did you leave the lights on overnight? And Ben says, I don't think so. At least I didn't notice anything. I don't think so. At least I didn't notice anything. And Anna says, try turning the key again. Slowly. Turn has the same vowel here as work. Work and turn, they have the same vowel. You might see it transcribed like this or like this. I prefer this because it's just a long schwa. Try turning the key again. Slowly. Nope. Nothing. It's completely dead. And Anna says, well, I'm not sure. This one here is usually like this. Sure, it sounds the same as sure. Well, I'm not sure, but it could be the battery. Have you got jump leads? Have you got jump leads? We've got a full rise here, rising on leads. Have you got jump leads? Yes, I think so. They're in the boot. By the way, boot here is another word for trunk. Trunk is used in US English, the back of the car where you store suitcases, and we say boot in the UK. Yes, I think so. They're in the boot. They're in the boot. Here, I'm actually pronouncing the R because there's a vowel sound afterwards. You don't have to pronounce it in this instance. This is sometimes known as linking R, but I'm doing it here. Linking R is optional. The reason we're doing it is because there's a vowel sound afterwards in the next word. They're in the boot. Want me to go and grab them? Want me to go, with a goat vowel, want me to go and grab them? Want me to go and grab them? Grab them? And Anna says, go on then, I'll try to set things up from this end. And Ben continues, here you go, here you go. Do you know how to do this properly? Do you know how to do this properly? Only just. I've seen it done before. I've seen it done before, but I'll try. I've seen it done before, but I'll try. Let's hope it works. Let's hope it works. And Ben says, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I've got loads to do today. I can't be stuck here all morning. Here we can link the R if you want to. I can't be stuck here all morning, but this R is deleted. And Anna says, don't worry. We'll sort it out. We'll sort it out. Probably just needs a little boost. Probably just needs a little boost. So what are we going to do now? Well, I'd like to go through this dialogue again. I'm going to read each line once. You can copy after me or read it at the same time as me, focusing on these three features. You might also notice I'm using full rise tones in other instances, so not just in these yes-no questions. And when I'm doing that, it's usually indicating that I'm unsure. So if a speaker is unsure, this full rise tone is quite likely. For instance, in I think so. So you might hear some more full rise tones as I'm going along. And just before we read that, I'd like to take a look at this phrase from earlier. This is something that you said at the beginning of today's class, and now I'd like you to say it with no R here. So this is work. And with the goat vowel, the O vowel here, this is home, O. You can also use a full rise tone here because it's a yes-no question. So copy after me. This is, do you work from home? 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 And hopefully you can hear a difference compared to how you said it at the beginning. Right, let's go back to the beginning of this dialogue. We're going to read each line once, and of course there'll be a replay after this live class, so you can always go back and listen to it again and pause. So the first line. Oh no, you're not going to work today. No, I don't think so. The car won't start again. Really? Didn't you just get it fixed? I did, but it's hopeless. I suppose I'll have to call the garage again. Do you want me to have a look? I know a bit about engines. Would you? That'd be great. It's just outside. Did you leave the lights on overnight? I don't think so. At least I didn't notice anything. Try turning the key again, slowly. Nope, nothing. It's completely dead. Well, I'm not sure, but it could be the battery. Have you got jump leads? Yes, I think so. They're in the boot. Want me to go and grab them? Go on then. I'll try to set things up from this end. Here you go. Do you know how to do this properly? Only just. I've seen it done before, but I'll try. Let's hope it works. Fingers crossed. I've got loads to do today. I can't be stuck here all morning. Don't worry, we'll sort it out. Probably just needs a little boost. So hopefully you have learned something interesting today, and if you want to learn more and improve your pronunciation further, then you can get my free pronunciation starter kit either by going to the website here, improveyouraccent.co.uk/kit, or by scanning that QR code. You'll get a downloadable PDF with tips and tricks and 3 simple steps to speak more clearly. You'll also get access to exclusive videos. It's completely free, and you'll also get join my newsletter as well, and I'll be sending you resources to help you improve your pronunciation. Now, if you're serious about improving your pronunciation, if you want to take it to the next level, then I recommend joining my British Council Award nominated course. You saw bits of that today, as well as the materials in the course, which have games, video lessons. There are also live classes that you can attend. The lessons in the course are tailored to your native language background. So if you're an Italian speaker, there are lessons specifically for you. If you're a German speaker, French speaker, Vietnamese speaker, Thai speaker, there are also lessons for you. In fact, there are 23 different languages available. And if your language isn't there, then there's a course as well for you, a general pronunciation course that covers the priorities. If you want one-to-one coaching, then you can get that through me too. I have a team of experienced pronunciation coaches who are experts and can help you. You just need to scan this QR code or go to my website, improveyouraccent.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining today, and I hope to see you in another class very soon.